Hi, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. Today, we are going to talk with Alan Reeves. Alan, hi and welcome.
Hello, how you doing?
Great. So, Alan, can you go ahead and share with us a little bit of a background with regards to your bodybuilding career and how you came to espouse a carnivore lifestyle? And please tell us how you can put on muscle without carbohydrates so that we can put that myth to rest once and for all.
Exactly. Yeah, so I've been bodybuilding all my life, basically, since growing up watching Arnold Schwarzenegger and Pumping Iron and Rocky, really. Stallone training in the snow back in that was 1986, I think. Then, so I was 13. So I'm now almost 50. I'm 50 in a few weeks' time. So this is why I'm so brown. We've just come back from holiday to celebrate my 50th, you see.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, you definitely look
exactly.
younger than your age.
Well, I believe that keto reversed my aging. Definitely. I looked older 6 years ago.
Wow. I believe
So
it.
I've been,
Yeah.
yeah, I first got into it was Atkins then, back in the early, it would be early 90s. I started bodybuilding, just lifting weights. I wouldn't call it bodybuilding. It was just training. I just loved the gym. At 11 years old, I was lifting weights in the bedroom. And then my dad built me a weight bench at home because he didn't want to buy me one. He was always making things, so he
Right.
built me one. So I was lifting weights from 11. Then I joined a gym at 17, I think it was. And by age 20, I was Mr. England. Uh,
Mr.
England.
Mr. England. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay. I
yeah.
didn't know
So
that.
yeah, I went to the first Mr. Europe competition at the time in Germany in 1993. It wasn't all based on physique, actually. It was the male model, and it was all quite new in the early 90s, this stuff, because it was the first Mr. Europe competition. So, but I just loved being on the stage doing that sort of thing and showing the body, basically. Then I joined the Dream Boys, which was the English version of the Chippendales. Do you know what the
Oh, nice.
Chippendales? I don't.
Yes.
You're based in America, of course, so you've heard of the Chippendales.
Yes.
Chippendales came to England in 1990. Ours was launched in actually 1989, so it was before
Mm,
the Chippendales. I joined in 1993,
okay.
age 20. Toured
Okay.
the world. Uh,
That is
got a
so
bit
cool.
yeah. That all we did was train, eat, sleep, and party.
Love
Probably
it.
party a little bit too hard, basically.
Love it.
For 10 years, I did that.
That's
So
funny.
that's why I looked older in the 30s. I think I didn't sleep for 10 years, uh,
Okay.
but exactly, we was a bit crazy, to be honest. Where maybe the Chippendales maybe was all in bed by 11 o'clock or something, but the London style, they do things different.
Europe.
They they
Hmm.
party hard.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Hmm. I can
So
imagine.
I tried Atkins it's probably 95, but it was also there was a book called The Anabolic Diet. I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Mauro Di Pasquale.
Okay, no.
He's still alive. He's about 75. Last time I heard, is on some podcast. Although he's not been on for a couple of years, so who knows what could have happened.
Hmm.
But he invented basically the cyclical ketogenic diet called the anabolic diet
Okay.
because, and I followed that, which was basically keto Monday to Friday, carbs weekend,
Mm.
and that worked well. Um, then you go off it. I wasn't really trying. I was just going through different experiments. I always liked the food, and it was basically bacon and eggs, steak and eggs, bacon and eggs, steak and eggs,
Right.
and repeat.
And you didn't feel like you needed the carbs?
Back then, I wasn't so. It wasn't like I was getting fat or anything. I was just testing different diets to see, and I liked that diet, but I didn't remain on it because I think people try to sort of hit keto when they're around 35, 40, when they've tried everything and can't lose any weight. They normally start keto for weight loss.
Right.
They don't really start it for bodybuilding.
True.
It's the last thing they actually would try because they believe you can't build any muscle.
True.
Now, I can't say that I built all my muscle on keto, but the last 6 years, I dieted for the first 2. Then I went back on stage and won men's physique age 45. Then I got a pro card and won the pro 45, age 45, doing keto. And I weighed 80 kilos on stage. I started the cut at 106 kilos.
Okay, so
I lost
20.
It was about, total was about 29, 30 kilos, which is about 66 pounds.
Okay. So you were on stage at 176 pounds. That's 80 kilos.
No. 80. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. That's right.
80 kilos on stage translated to 176 pounds. That was your stage weight. And how tall are you?
179.
Okay. Oh, that's going to take me forever to do that.
So like five,
get it.
5, just under 5'11".
Okay. Got it. I grew up.
I'm all European now.
Systems.
I'm all European.
I understand. Huh?
I'm all European because in Sweden everything's 179, 180.
I know. I'm originally from Lebanon, so I convert everything in my head to the metric system, but like it takes me a second. But like I grew up with a metric system, basically.
Yeah, America and England like still use feet. We don't use pounds actually. We use stones. So if I say stones, you would have no clue.
No idea. No,
it's crazy. You can't work out stones. It's impossible.
It's like 1 second. Let me translate
exactly.
that. Yeah.
But I went back to keto because I was 106 pounds. And my kilos, which was like 220.
Okay.
And I was I was genetically lucky. I still had a 2-pack, but I couldn't get the 4 or 6-pack at my age. So I went keto. I actually, the missus was pregnant with our 3rd child and we was going on holiday. And I thought, I'll just try and drop a little weight for the holiday. Went keto for like 12 days. And suddenly a load of water come off, which always happens.
True.
And I could see more abs straight away. And I thought, oh, and I remembered how I felt. Then I started listening to podcasts and learning about keto again more. Because before I just knew that you went low carb, I didn't know all about BHB. I didn't know about acetoacetate and stuff. And that's when I started learning.
Right, the beta hydroxybutyrate and the acetoacetate, which are your blood
exactly.
ketones.
And then I started drawing blood, testing blood, and I was obsessed for 2 years. I'm trying to get this camera on better. I'm trying to find a good thing. That's fine. Better. Then I was obsessed. I was testing blood. 6 years ago, keto was having its rebirth.
True.
I don't know how long you've been in this field. How many years?
I have been doing keto when I first learned about it, which I think was 2015 is when I first started reading about it, because I was I didn't link it to weight loss. First of all, I linked it to anxiety because I was like teaching at the University of Miami. I was a doctoral student. That's why I left Lebanon. I came to Miami to do my doctorate there. But I changed majors away from nutrition towards exercise physiology. So it was like a lot of new stuff that I was like learning, and I'm supposed to teach students that were very close to my age, teach them stuff that I just learned.
Yeah, but
so there's a lot of anxiety.
Without interrupting, I see your hubby is 58. He looks amazing.
Yeah, thank you. It's gonna be 59 yeah.
You look like 20.
Thank you. No, I'm 35.
Yeah.
35.
I was
but
going to say,
like,
you can't be 20 and be a professor. But
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. I guess I should say that. I know it's funny because for me, like I'm used to my age, but I guess people still get surprised. And it's like people will not even believe me that I tell them I don't even have Botox, nothing.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's not like I do feel like if I look at pictures when I was 18, I can see that my face looks even younger, but I'm pretty sure the carbs have a major role to do with that,
Well,
and the
you
fact
look
that
younger
I
now
train
than
a
you
lot.
did on that photograph on your Instagram. You look younger now.
Really? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a tiny bit of filter too now, probably. Let me see if I take off the filter, like if what that looks like. Video.
Well, I don't have no filter on, and I'm
So
50.
this is
So
without a filter right now. It doesn't really change, I guess, that much. I don't
no,
know.
it looks no different. No
Yeah.
different.
So but I do like the filter, even if it doesn't. I prefer. Let's put it a little bit. That's better. Yeah, I guess there's it depends. I don't know, but yeah, like I don't, I feel like everybody around my age is doing Botox already, and I'm like, I don't need to.
Oh no, everyone's doing Botox age about 20, not
That's
35.
insane. That makes no sense. How can you paralyze a muscle and expect it to hold up?
Yeah,
It makes no
exactly.
sense to me, right? So,
Exactly.
mhm.
So then I went right full on listening to every single podcast, read every single book, Stephen Finney and what's his partner's name? Jeff
Volek.
Volek. I've read every book that came out. And again, it was going massive. Jimmy Moore at the time was doing good keto books and
That was
again,
before he was,
cholesterol
you know what
code.
happened to Jimmy Moore, right?
I read about that. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess he's in prison.
Yes. Turns out he's a
Yeah.
pedophile.
Oh wow,
I
wow.
know.
Yeah.
Shocking.
That's another story, but
I
yeah,
know.
I never met the guy, but I did read his cholesterol code
Right.
because of course suddenly I was eating loads of butter and drinking it in the coffee. A
Mm,
bulletproof coffee, if you will. It was
mm,
obviously coined by Dave Asprey. And back in the 90s, we didn't do that. We just, see, the Atkins was dirty keto. It was basically go to McDonald's, throw away the bun, and
exactly.
you're fine. You're good to go. Just don't eat the chips. Eat
Yeah.
everything else you can.
Yeah.
And it worked to a certain extent, but it probably wouldn't make you live that long because it was
Hmm.
still dirty oils. It was still crap.
True.
Now, the new version of keto is grass-fed steak. It's Alaskan caught salmon. It's, to me, my keto diet is a Mediterranean diet
Hmm.
without the rice or bread. It's as simple as that. It's a Greek
Hmm.
salad. It's olive oil with a shed load of protein with a load of butter. Job
Nice.
done. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Breakfast is always your eggs, a bit of Greek yogurt, maybe a couple of berries, um, and that's it's really easy. I
Are
don't know
you,
how you cannot do this diet.
are you still testing your ketones?
Every now and again, when somebody asks me, and I've done cyclical for the last 5 years, and I've played around with back to the anabolic diet. Basically, I've
Hmm.
done 2 days of carb loads,
Hmm.
and I've done 500 grams on a Saturday, 500 on Sunday.
Hmm.
By 8 o'clock Monday morning, I was producing ketones. So
Wow.
it
Yeah.
didn't take me 4 or 5 days. It took me 8 hours, and I was back in.
Yeah. That's was because you're already keto adapted.
Exactly. I did 2 years of no carbs, or literally less than 50.
That
So
is,
when people tell me, "Oh, I've not had any carbs for 3 days," I'm like, I didn't do it for like 1,000 days.
yes.
No problem. You
Cool.
need willpower with everything.
Do you didn't need willpower, you said?
You do need willpower for
Oh,
everything
okay.
in
Yeah, I'm
life.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
you do. Yeah.
Did you get cravings and you overcame them with willpower? Did you do cheat meals?
First time when I first tried to get adapted, I used to get from my health shop, which was near me at the time, and I used to go and get little sachets of coconut oil,
Hmm.
and you just rip it out. It was like 5 grams of coconut oil, and it took the edge off anything.
Right.
And
The light,
and that
the
was enough for
sweetness
me.
there. Mm.
That was enough for me. And now I actually crave fat. And interesting, I thought I'd research on your Instagram. So I listened to a couple of your pages, and one was your hubby talking about his diet, because it was your article of how to get a six-pack all year.
Yeah. We're gonna do
And
a
I
round
got,
two, everybody, real soon.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I got shredded for the show in when I was 45, and I've been shredded ever since, even while bulking. Even doing 4,000 calories a day, I do.
Nice.
And I average 270 grams of fat, whereas your hubby said he's pretty low fat. I'm super high fat. Literally, I drink 40 grams first thing in the morning. I eat butter. I have a slice of butter for a snack.
Nice. Yeah, it's the carbs. It's just cutting out the carbs
Yeah.
that seems to be, it just makes weight loss so much easier, or maintaining abs so much easier.
And I've always believed it's not just about calories in, calories out. I've always believed pretty much the opposite of what everyone says. If they tell me one thing, I believe it's the opposite. And because that's from fat. With Ansel Keys telling us that fat's bad, and it was always sugar. And when you read about him, it's so obvious. It was only Mr. Kellogg that said breakfast is the best meal of the day, and he made breakfast cereal.
Right. What are the odds? Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, I don't fear fat at all. And I've just found this Bart K through your site.
Oh, yeah.
Because you interviewed Bronson.
Coach Bronson, yes.
Exactly. And that's how I linked you. That's how I followed you. I saw Bronson through Rob Goodwin.
I don't know who Rob Goodwin is.
Rob Goodwin is the ketogenic bodybuilder. He's like a guru.
Really? Cool.
Oh, you need him. You need him. He's older than me. He's been doing this for 25 years as well.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to have him on.
Yeah. Well, I've watched the Bart K thing, and Bart K just sits there going, "You're an effing idiot. You're an effing idiot," to all the calorie in, calorie out people, and it's debunking a lot. And he's a professor and whatnot. So, he sounds intelligent to me, and he's certainly confident.
Yes.
I can only know through my clients and how I'm affected. And if I'm eating carbs, I would probably gain weight at 3,500. If I eat fat, I can eat 4,000 and don't gain. So I've got more energy. I do not gain weight on the fat. Of course, there's a limit. Calories do matter. Now, Bart K says calories, it's just heat. But yes, this is the only way we can talk. We're not eating heat. We're eating food, which we're taught is calories. And tracking does work to an extent, because we have to track to get shredded for a competition.
True.
If you're eating a chicken breast and a piece of broccoli, it's quite easy to track. But yes, there's no way to track a ribeye, because every steak is different.
True.
So, but you get that leeway with fat. You really do.
Yeah. No, I agree. So now, if you're going to compete, are you going to compete anytime soon?
My plan is to compete when I'm 50, and I'm 50 in March. So, or that year. So it's literally like three months away. So, whenever the show's on next year, I had a show booked, and then COVID came, and that got in the way, and emigrating to a different country, life gets in the way. I'm a PT in a gym, you see, so I'm working on the floor, online clients, and of course looking after 3 children while the wife's doing her spiritual stuff in America.
Right. We were talking earlier about your partner being here in the States, right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So,
but she'll be back soon.
Yeah. Do you have a YouTube channel, an Instagram that's public? I think yours, I'm not sure if it was public or not.
It used to be public till like last month, and every now and again I get catfished, and people steal my pictures and then try and date women with my face. It's happened a few times. I've had to tell the
Oh,
police. I've been
yeah.
aggressively assaulted online by females saying that you're a bear over the voicemail, but they've never met me because, of course, it's not me doing it.
Oh my God. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, exactly. So whether they're trying to get videos from these ladies or money, normally money or something, but they're all in that over 40 category,
Oh,
quite attractive single divorcees.
yeah.
And I thought I'd better make it a bit private for a little
Yeah.
while because and to be honest, this is my worst thing. Maybe it's an age thing that I need to get better at social media
Yeah. It's
because
definitely an
I'm
age
still,
thing. Yeah, trust me,
yeah,
because
I hate it, to be honest. I
but
love
see,
it.
you can't say that, because once you say it, now you believe it, and now you're gonna act in accordance
Yeah,
with it, you know?
exactly.
And that's what
I
my
love it and
husband
I
tells me.
hate
He's
it.
like, "Oh, you grew up with it, you know?" I'm like, "No, I didn't even have a Facebook account until I was done with my bachelor's." So, like, no, I
Well,
just
I'm closer to his generation, and we went to the gym when people actually spoke to each other.
right, right. That's
Now
true.
the gym is everyone's got these in.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking at their phone between sets. I
Oh
could
no.
walk around just slapping the phones out of people like this, especially on the leg extension. They just sit
It's
there like
true.
this.
It's true. Yeah, but
No
no,
one
not
trains
the same.
hard anymore.
Yeah. That's true, but at the same time, I'm going to admit that I get a lot of work done. Like a lot of times, like I'll post on my Instagram to keep it updated while I'm in between my sets, for example.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
it's true. You can do this, but
Yeah.
not every. You're still not concentrating. My idol was Dorian Yates.
Mm,
I've always trained like Dorian Yates or his style of one set to failure.
yeah, that's
But this
insanity
one
right there.
set
Yeah.
is not one set while looking at Instagram doing a leg extension. It's
No.
one set that your life depends on that set. Literally, they are going to blow your head off if you don't get to number 10 on that
Yeah.
set. That's the set that you have to do. And you can't do that if you're scrolling in
Yeah.
between.
That's
You
true. And then
literally
you get
can't.
sucked into it because it can be so addictive. And then I feel like once your muscles kind of cool off a little bit, it's not the same.
I believe the gym is also the best antidepressant and it's an escape from
Hmm.
work.
Yeah.
Uh, Even though it's my work, I train in a different gym. So I'm not training it in my work
Hmm.
because that's my hour.
Right.
Don't talk to me. Don't even pretend you don't know me on that hour.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, me
So
too.
yeah, the
Yeah.
phone is.
That's
I think
see
they should
that
just
that's the
ban all
power of
phones.
of the headphones at the gym. It's like I'm busy, you know? Don't talk to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to ketogenic bodybuilding.
Hmm.
Um, if the if of course when you're adapting the first 3 weeks, you shouldn't really be lifting very heavy, if at all, the first week. Just sort of adapting. You don't want to
Hmm.
be dropping calories
Yeah.
and carbs.
Yeah.
You want to, if your maintenance on carbs is 3,000, you should eat 3,000 when you go keto,
Hmm. Hmm.
at least for a week or two, and then start to taper off the calories or increase the exercise. The number one thing, if you get your electrolytes right, which there is many supplements now that are good,
Hmm.
that we have a product, Keto Pro, in England. He's a friend of mine. He's another keto champion. You should get him on your site
What's his
also.
name?
Richard,
And okay, maybe you
Keto Pro. Keto Pro. I'll link you to him
yeah, just yeah, because I don't think I got it.
because he has a whole supplement range. You see,
Okay.
he was quite obese and insulin resistant, and went keto. Super shredded, won everything. He's younger than me. He's about 30. I think he's closer to 40, something like 38, 39, but still looks fantastic and launched his own product range.
Nice.
So, uh, again, if you take your electrolytes when switching over to fat for fuel, you will have no problem transitioning. You really won't. And it's mainly salt. we've been told that salt and fat is going to kill us, and it's the two things you need
Yeah,
more than anything.
it's
More
so
than I
true.
take half a teaspoon of salt
Oh yeah,
before a workout.
as a pre-workout,
Before the
right?
workout.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Half a teaspoon and with a lot of water.
I do about a liter of water. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just read the book Win by Dr. Uh, Nick D. Nicoliantinio. I forget how you pronounce his name.
Yeah,
He's wrote a few. He
we
wrote the
know who he
Salt
is. The
Fix.
same guy who wrote the Salt Fix. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And it's with Seam Land as well. The new book, he's
Right.
a biohacker
Right.
for
I know
for
Seam.
the
Yes.
modern.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Very clever young
Yeah.
lad.
He is.
But yeah. So salt, again, it's unbelievable pre-workout. It really is.
It is.
It's the pumps that you get.
Okay, so let me ask you, earlier I asked you if you had cravings and you said you just did the coconut oil and that was
Yeah.
enough. And do you do cheat meals at all?
What do you call a cheat meal?
Like carbs?
But I did strategic refeeds,
Okay.
which would be, okay, I'm going to have 10 pieces of sushi because I'm going to have this much rice. Then I'm going to have half a sweet potato. Then
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have, again, some more boiled rice weighed out.
Right.
But I never had, your hubby had 20 cookies.
It's true.
Yeah,
Tomorrow's his cheat day, by the way. I'm
yeah.
preparing the cookies
I
tonight.
never do that. I don't crave that. I never had that before, though, when I was a
Mm.
carb eater. My thing, I used to like cheese and crackers or something. Now I would have just cheese without the crackers.
So nothing sweet?
Um, Not fruit is my sweetness.
How
So
often do you have fruit?
I've gone through phases the last year of because of getting into carnivore MD, Paul Saladino.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Bart K is saying Paul Saladino is just addicted to carbs and he's gone to be different,
Comes to
that
the
he's
other
not the
end.
normal carnivore now. He's
Uh-huh.
wants to be different. He's the fruit carnivore because Sean Baker's taking he's the number one carnivore.
All
I
right.
remember when Sean Baker started, so I did keto before Sean was around. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
when he first was getting that. Now he's got like millions of followers, so fair play to him.
Sean,
But
I don't think he has millions. I wish. That would be
oh,
so
right, maybe half a million
good
or
for us
something.
aspiring carnivores. No, I'm like, I'm planning my
But
exit
he's the top
anyway. I'm
dog.
like, this
He's the
is
top
going
dog.
nowhere. What?
He's the top dog as carnivore in
Yeah,
my
he is. No, I agree because he
experience.
wrote the book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's unbelievable. He's a world record holder at pretty much anything he tries. The geezer can still deadlift 250 kilos for
I
20
know.
reps.
I know.
And he's older than me, so he's a unit.
Yeah.
Um, so fair play to him. But yeah, so I tried the fruit.
Okay.
This summer I went carnivore and fruit, and I liked it. No problem, and I didn't see any detriment. But I didn't test any blood work. Yes,
Right.
I tasted ketones afterwards, and I was still producing ketones, but I haven't tested cholesterol or any blood markers for eating
So
the fruit.
how much fruit was it? And for how many days a week did you do that?
I did fruit every day.
Every day.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, pretty
What
much
was
every morning.
Mhm.
Oh, we're talking maybe half a melon,
Okay.
watermelon, half a grapefruit, an apple, a banana, a lot of fruit, a
Oh,
real
okay.
lot,
A
a
lot of fruit.
lot
And
of fruit.
you were still in keto?
No, not. I didn't test immediately
Oh,
after,
okay.
but I would test, 5, 6 hours after, and I was, yeah, zero point 0.5
Oh,
ketones.
wow. Yeah, because you're so keto adapted. Would you say maybe also you have that metabolic flexibility, like you can tap into ketosis very quickly? That plus the fact that you keto adapted allows you to
It's good to
tolerate.
be flexible. When I did the first competition, I didn't have any carbs, even for the show. I
Mhm.
didn't. I had Keto Savage. Do you know Keto Savage?
Yes, I had him on.
The keto brick guy.
Yeah.
Robert, he was my coach for my first show.
Oh, okay.
And he got me ready for the show and stage ready without carbs through salt and anchovies, actually. Sardines and anchovies we was
Okay.
doing. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
that's
so
interesting.
salty. So it brought all the veins out and I won the show. I
Ah,
came first in age 45. Age 35, I came second. And age 18 and over, I came third. So I was 45 and I was standing next to people 22. And that was zero carb, pretty much zero.
wow.
After that, I went for an Indian meal that night
Yeah.
because that was a food that maybe that was a cheap meal. And I had a little slice of naan bread, the
Yeah.
bread that comes with the Indian.
Yeah,
I
like
was in
pita.
agony. I was in agony on the sofa for 2 hours afterwards
Really? It gave you cramps.
because, yeah, I never had the microbiome for it.
Uh-huh.
But after going cyclical for those months and years after, it's no problem now.
Right,
It
because you
really
keep a
makes.
little bit of that. You keep a little bit of poison.
Yeah. Oh, I did find that when I did the 2-day refeeds on carbs,
Mm-hmm.
the headaches on Monday could be there. It was hard to get your electrolyte balance perfect because you would go to the toilet so much because you gained like 4 kilos
Ah,
and then you would
okay.
lose it.
So
You would lose it quickly.
you would probably get a headache after those refeeds or around
Very
about to get a
possible.
headache. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm one with a headache. I wear contact lenses and it really hurts. It almost goes to a migraine on my
Mm,
eyes. So I
yeah.
try to avoid that. So then I switched to 1-day carb refeeds.
Yeah.
Then I've switched to one meal
Yeah.
over the week. And now I'm almost not doing it again. I'm back to strict carnivore keto-ish because I prefer it.
Right. The whole reason why you did the whole refeeds thing before you tapered off was because you felt like you didn't want to lose your adaptability. You wanted to be able to eat a little bit of bread if you wanted to.
I read a lot. No, I didn't want to eat the food. I didn't actually enjoy the food. I prefer the keto food. But
So,
I reading back to the anabolic diet and a few on the cyclical about how it makes you more anabolic by having the carbs.
oh, okay.
Um,
So you still
and of
thought
course, you get the
maybe,
pump. You
yeah,
get the pump, and it fills out the muscles,
yeah.
and you feel you are stronger for that day or two,
Mm,
which increases obviously what you can lift. But yeah, I literally read a book and say I'll do that, and
yeah.
I'm like the n=1 person will try anything
Right.
sort of thing.
That is the best way to learn, by the way, because we learn or we read and we absorb information from so many sources, but that's passive learning. Active learning is really when you take it and you apply it on yourself, because that's really the best kind of learning, because your genetics, your history is different than somebody else. And so until you become an active learner, you won't really go or get anywhere.
Exactly. I mean, they say when you read some uh, nutrition books and from some nutritionists, keto lowers testosterone.
Yeah.
Well, I tested my testosterone because my brother had low testosterone. He's 1 year older than me, and he was quite big.
Uh-huh.
Um, I was a gym junkie, if you like. Thought I'm going to have super high
Not
testosterone. It's
necessarily.
bound to
Yeah.
be high. I tested it, and I was lower than him.
Mm,
He was 10.5. I was 10.
right.
This was age 40. It was before my show, so it was about age 40,
Yeah.
about that. I went to the doctor. The doctor gave me some testosterone. He injected me once. What did he give me? Once every 3 weeks. That's all he
Mm-hmm.
would do.
Okay.
He did it 3 times. Then he got a letter from the endocrinologist at the hospital. You cannot give it to him. So they didn't give me any more.
Why?
Because that's how England is. They're, on the NHS, they're
Oh,
terrible with that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So after that, I went keto.
Mm.
I felt good. Tested my testosterone again. My testosterone more than almost doubled to 19.
Wow.
So there's no way keto lowers testosterone. It's as simple as that. living proof. Then I won the shows
Right.
without taking any hormones.
You're not taking anything. You're only doing keto and you're winning shows at 45. That's incredible.
Exactly. Then age 46, again, I took hormones back in the 90s. Not much, because I joined that group and they was all older than me. And in the 90s, you could sort of buy it off any shelf when you was abroad. And
You're right.
I was almost bullied into it. What does that do? It makes you big. Okay, try that. And that's how it was in the 90s, because we didn't have the internet to put you off. But that was a phase. But back to more recent times, I liked that feeling that hormones gave me when I was age 40, what the doctor gave me, for sure. Not for muscle. Again, when you're low testosterone, you don't have to have every symptom. You don't have to have muscle wasting, tiredness, fatigue, bad mood, and no sex drive. You might just have one of those things.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was libido. It was almost non-existent by age 46. So then I went, my testosterone had gone up, but there's still, the free testosterone wasn't very high, although the total was, the free wasn't. And there's more to it than total.
Right.
Which I didn't know, which I learned. And then I went to a private clinic, and now I'm on TRT, official TRT. They won't prescribe you more than what you're allowed. So there's no way you can be taken. In England, it's very strict. You get one bit. In America, I know they give you a multi. And they don't do that in England. They give you a set amount and that's it.
Yeah.
That's how it works. But so, and then, of course, it brings back the libido. But muscle mass and strength, I wasn't suffering anyway. I did the shows without anything. So
Right. Yeah. And that's really all that people need to hear, is that it's not that because you took a little bit of replenishing what was lost just due to age that
exactly. No, it was keto that
it
doubled my testosterone for the shows. I was 100% natural for those shows. So, and that's good for people to know, because people take hormones and still look terrible.
It's true.
That doesn't make you a bodybuilder just because you take a hormone. I mean, for ladies, they're doing HRT for years. It's quite normal.
Right. Yeah.
They just don't want you to be, these days, almost a man. They want you to be some quiet little old, quiet old man that just is on medication from the doctor.
Yeah, but
but not testosterone.
I think though, like, I think there's a general idea with people who are doing keto or carnivore, is that your diet alone is gonna fix everything, and I think it's gonna fix a lot of things, but it cannot stop aging, right? The aging process is still gonna happen because time is passing by, and I think it's good that people understand that you can go back and replenish the things that you're naturally losing with age, and it's important that you do that, because that's the number one thing that's going to slow down the aging process.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the way it can reverse aging, I know we said we look younger, but how you look is how you feel in your mind. And if your ketogenic brain is not depressed, it's happy, it's sharp, you also sleep better. I sleep an hour less than carbs, but it's better sleep.
How many hours?
And I wake up 6, I sleep.
Okay.
I have the Aura ring. If it's 6.5, it's amazing. If it's 5 and something, I don't feel as good. 6 to 7 is perfect for me, but it's often about 6, 6:20, 6:10, and that's good.
That's fantastic.
But
yeah.
When I was eating carbs, I didn't sleep as good, and I woke up more tired, and I was always tired in the afternoon.
Right. You get
super
that
tired.
Energy slump. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Can you go through a typical day of eating? What would you generally eat?
Yeah. As soon as I wake up, I drink a little shot of apple cider vinegar in some water. Then I drink the keto electrolytes in around, the protein shakers. I have 2 of those full of water with electrolytes. First thing, I take vitamin D. I take enzyme, a digestive enzyme, and magnesium. That's the first thing. Then I eat some cottage cheese I like, with a few macadamia nuts,
Okay.
scoop of whey protein, or then I add double cream, heavy cream, as you call it. I add some, we have pouring cream here. They call it viscråd in Swedish, and it's double cream. I pour that on just instead of milk. That's the first meal. Maybe a couple of blueberries, not always. If I've got them, I put them in. That's the first meal. Then 15 minutes later, I have 4 eggs and some bacon with loads of salt.
Okay.
That's my first, and it's then I drink a coffee with about 30 grams of fat. I normally put in about 20 grams of butter and 10 grams of MCT oil.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes to around, I know, as you say, it's heat and it can't be tracked, but I do track it. I've been tracking it for 6 years. I've got the data.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a good idea.
I agree. No, I agree.
And it's around between 1,100 calories. That's the breakfast.
Okay.
Then obviously take the kids to school and then go to work. Then it's probably the first snack is a bite of a keto brick, which I get from my friend Robert.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I do love his bricks. They're amazing. They really are.
And like you're the perfect candidate for keto bricks. I wish I had the code to share. I know I haven't signed the contract yet, but they're gonna send me a bunch.
I've been shipping them for him. So yeah, for the last few years.
Yeah. So which flavor is your favorite?
Almond and peanut. It's a no-brainer. Them two. It's the only problem with those two is not eating the whole thing.
Oh yeah, because they're sweet.
They're just so moreish. So I like the mocha as well, because you don't want to eat the whole of mocha. Mm-hmm. So nice with a black coffee. But I try and just bite it off. I'm such an expert. I can bite 20 grams, almost spot on. Bang, 20 grams.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be the snack. Then it would be lunch. I often come home because I cycle. I use my bicycle all the time here in Sweden. It's really bicycle friendly. So I cycle back. Then I will cook a steak, ribeye with an egg, some butter. It's about 200 grams steak. Then back to work. Then the next meal would be another little bite on the keto brick, to be honest. Some more of that. I also have some biltong, or pork scratching, we call it. Right. It's pig skin.
Right.
They do a fantastic one here from Denmark, actually. It's really fresh, really amazing. No additives, no nothing. It's just pure pig skin.
Okay. Tastes
amazing. I snack on those. Then it would be dinner time, and then if I'm doing carnivore, it will just be a steak. It's really, I never get tired of steak. I really don't. It's
That's fantastic.
I don't know why you would. And,
I agree.
Again, my missus, although Swedish, she's Chinese, so she's taught me how to cook.
Wait, she's Swedish or she's Chinese?
She's full Chinese, born in Sweden.
Oh,
grew up in India, went to Taiwan, so she speaks like 7 languages.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty smart, but she makes up for my one language that I speak.
No, you speak two. You English and Swedish, I'm assuming.
Jag kan prata lite svenska.
Okay, that is good enough.
Exact, precis.
Yeah.
Tack så mycket. And
okay.
I could do a stir fry maybe with a little steak and some a little soy, a little oyster sauce, and a bit of broccoli and basil. That would be. I just don't eat the rice. Years ago, I used to make the cauliflower rice and all that, but I often can't be bothered.
Have you thought about going carnivore in the future?
Yeah. I do often days of carnivore. Since she's been away, I've been carnivore because I'm not cooking for anybody else. It's just for me. And
what do the kids do? Do you starve the kids when she's away?
I end up making, my kids are 3 different ages, is 6, 10, 14. So they all want different meals. It's crazy. I end up doing yesterday 3 different meals.
Oh
I
boy.
spoil them. Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay.
Back in my day, you put your dinner down, you ate it, and you didn't get anything
Eat it.
else. Yeah.
Just be
Now, if
quiet.
they don't like it, they walk up and go and get some sushi.
That's hilarious. That's so funny.
Yeah,
I could never have that attitude. It's like, no, that's it. Like that's the food, you're gonna eat it.
it's really hard to
Yeah.
I wish I was chatting to somebody online about their children eating keto, and my first child, you're super strict and you're making this and that. Then you get a little bit more lax with the second one. By the third one, you're throwing them candy just to shut up.
Just be quiet.
Exactly.
That's so funny. Yeah.
I gave him some ice cream before I came in here because I didn't want him to keep coming in and asking me. Otherwise, he will. So
Oh my God, that is hilarious. See, that's
I
why I
know.
don't have children. People ask me when. I'm
It's
like,
so difficult these days. I mean, I don't let them drink fizzy drinks, so
yeah, that's
that's
good.
one good thing.
Yeah.
And everyone drinks water in Sweden, and it's tap water, and it's not fluoridated. Do you
There's
say
no
they
chlorine.
don't?
Oh, that's good.
No, the tap
Yeah.
water's amazing here
Wow.
compared to London. London, you sniff it and it smells
Yeah.
like bleach.
You should come see here. It's worse.
Is it?
Oh, the worst.
So you have to
can't even
filter it
drink.
or buy it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely filtered. I have a reverse osmosis unit,
Oh,
and
amazing!
an
Yeah.
additional filter on this. And it's like, yeah, you can't.
Where are you in
Yeah.
Miami? Is it?
I was in Miami for 9 years, and then in the last year and a half, we moved to Ocala, which is it's an hour. Okay, it's 5 hours north of Miami and 1 hour north of Orlando.
Right. So it's still Florida.
Yeah, yeah.
I've only been to America once. And
Oh,
so if there was one place I think I would want to live is Florida, although I've never been. I'm
beautiful.
born for the beach.
Yes.
And
No, you would love. You're definitely made for Florida. It's like me
yeah.
and my
And
husband,
I
same thing.
love your
Yeah.
governor.
Oh
He
yeah,
is
yeah. Especially with the
my
craziness in the last few
hero.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that was a good thing. Another good thing he did was that he allowed everybody to offer nutrition coaching services. He passed a law a couple years ago because before
did
that,
he?
yeah, before that, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, because they accept all this money from the food companies, they turn around, they use that money to
Mm.
sponsor their politicians to write bills that would have them have complete monopoly over the terms nutritionist or dietitian. It's like they wouldn't allow anybody else to use those terms. and
Wow.
and then if you become a registered dietitian with them, then you have to follow the diet plan that they put out, and they will literally sue you.
Yeah.
They sued dietitians, like dietitian Cassie Bjork, for example, here in the States. And they
I
will
can
sue.
believe it.
Yeah. So,
I
and they.
studied cancer a lot because my dad had cancer and unfortunately died of it back in 2008. And
Oh,
that's when I really got into nutrition again as well.
mm,
Wasn't just keto, although keto was a big anti-cancer diet. I
yes.
tried raw. David Wolf does the raw food diet. I've
Oh
done
God.
that.
Wait,
Yeah,
isn't David Wolf a little the wacko
I
guy?
think so. Yeah, yeah. He
With
like
the
cuddles
yeah.
trees and loves raw cacao and stuff. But I read all his books as well. So,
Yeah.
but
Your time's up,
yeah,
guy.
I
Yeah.
studied all sorts. I say I just like to read different books, and and
Mhm.
then you take it as you will. But in
Yeah.
America, they arrested and put somebody in jail for 5 years for selling apricot seeds
Why?
because apricot seeds is proven to kill cancer. It's got something in it called lateral B17, I think it is,
Okay.
and it also turns into cyanide. So they made it illegal and put him in jail, and just because of the cancer industry.
Oh,
It's
yeah. Well,
insane.
that's how the pharmaceutical companies find their cures, right? They go into all the plants. They all pretty much come from plants. They find the chemicals that work, and then they change a minor tweak to that
Yeah,
chemical so
so
that they
they
can
can
patent
patent
it,
it.
and then they roll with that, even though it might have been better to
Well,
go with the natural one.
well, it was this Amazonian tribe that ate apricots, all
Yeah.
day long, never had a trace of cancer in their tribe ever.
Right.
And that's all they used to eat was apricots.
But would they eat the seeds?
I guess it's called apricot kernels, and they've got quite a strong taste to it. Very like aniseedy. They're
Right.
quite nice.
Okay. I mean, you've done the research, so you know that's fantastic, you know. But I'm sorry that, you know, what happened to your dad. Did the diet improve any parameter?
Well, with his, unfortunately, he got an industrial disease, which was called mesothelioma
Oh,
from asbestos.
yes.
And then when you read, the governments knew that asbestos was deadly and they still had people working with it. They just set up a fund ready to pay them out in 40 years. So
Right.
that's why I don't trust any government when it comes to diet and nutrition, because they don't
Yeah.
care.
No, they don't. It's the politicians at the end of the day, they have backers and they want to make sure they remain on their good side. And so this is why
Exactly.
you have just catastrophic dietary guidelines, especially here.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, you get the food pyramid, turn it upside down, you're good to go.
Exactly. Do the exact opposite,
Exactly.
100%.
You've obviously read the book, The Big Fat Surprise. That was one of my first books. Nina Teicholz.
No, but I've listened to countless interviews and a bunch
Yeah,
of
yeah.
presentations. Yeah,
I mean,
so I
she
know the
studied
gist
for
of
that
it.
book for 10 years to get
Yeah.
the research for that book. And
Yeah.
once you read that, it's just so obvious that fat is not bad for you.
No, no, just the fact that the American Heart Association was
It's a shame
literally
that
put on
fat
the
is
map.
called fat, because fat is equated to being overweight. When fat was called energy, you wouldn't
Right,
mind eating energy.
right. Premium energy, clean energy too. It's much cleaner
Exactly.
source of energy.
So with your diet, do you just do carnivore?
Carnivore. I don't, I'm not good with like carbs and the sweetness, you know? Like for
Yeah.
example, with you, when you have a bite of the keto brick, you're gonna want more. Same thing with me. So
So you still have a little addiction to the
yes,
carb.
yeah, for sure. It's so easy to come for it to like the moment you have it, you want more. At least that's the way my brain is,
Got
you
you,
know?
got you.
So it's
But
easier to not have it.
interesting, because I like a salad. I like the Greek salad, but I had some broccoli yesterday, first time in a week.
Yeah,
And the gas that I had
yeah.
was unreal. And I forgot, because all week I don't think I had one event. Not one.
Right, right.
And before, when
Yeah.
I was carbs, I used to go to the loo. I know it's a gross topic, but 4 or 5 times a day. No problem. Because I would,
Before you did what?
before keto.
Oh, you would, okay,
Then
you would use a,
keto, it
right.
went to maybe once, twice. Carnivore, you forget to go.
It's true.
It's
But you're not constipated. And that's the thing that
No, you're
people
not
confuse.
constipated. You
No,
just don't waste. You're not
exactly.
constipated.
Because when people sometimes think that they're not constipated, despite them having gas, bloating, and pain upon elimination, all those things
Mm,
are much more powerful indicators of constipation as opposed to the number of times you use the bathroom. Right. And I
yeah,
remember when
yeah,
I grew up eating rice and beans in Lebanon, because it was like the cheaper food, and that's really what 99% of the world population subsists on, a cheaper form of nutrition.
yeah,
That's what I ate. And I was constipated, and I did not even realize that I was constipated because I was using the bathroom, but I had all these symptoms, you know, and people need to look at the Bristol stool chart to see what it should look like, what stools need to look like when you're not constipated versus when you are. And that's another visual
yeah.
representation.
So
So
I'm definitely leaning towards the full carnivore route, or at least 80–90% of the week.
yeah,
What do you think on the fruit take
I'm not a
on
fan
Paul
because
Saladino?
again, just like the broccoli, same thing with the fruits. We never ate those foods in this present form ever, almost, in evolutionary terms. So
I think maybe if we did, we certainly only ate them seasonal rather
and
than.
even the seasonal ones, yes, maybe like 1 month out of the year. even when we did manage to find them, just go and search for the wild versions of fruits. You would be shocked at how many seeds and fibers they had.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and they even an old text.
Blueberries were sour. They was tiny. Now they're
Exactly. There was
huge.
not even any sweetness to that. Not to mention, we evolved during an ice age. For 99.99% of our species evolution, we evolved throughout an ice age. Plants don't grow in an ice age. They weren't even available to us, right? And
Exactly.
so this is a very recent introduction to our food supply. And the produce growers and the farmers figured out that if we hybridize certain seeds, we can make them with less fiber and more sugar and less fiber and more sugar, and that becomes
so
more
it's genetically modified, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And what they didn't realize is that now you're really, you're selling more, but now they're addictive, and now people love to eat them and buy and just add the label of healthy to them. Ooh, it's something that's delicious and it's healthy, and it keeps that addiction going, and it keeps that sugar consumption. I don't think there's anything good that comes from sugar. It leads to glycation, and advanced glycation end products or ages those.
I agree. I think it gives you Alzheimer's, dementia, everything. Is type 3 diabetes, basically.
Exactly. There's really no reason to include them. Don't feel like I have to include them, like as if I would be healthier with them. I don't think that's true. I do.
Well, it's the only macro that we don't actually need any.
Exactly.
We need zero. Our liver will make it. So, and it makes cholesterol. If it makes cholesterol, why is cholesterol bad for us?
Thank you.
It's not. It's not. Your body is very clever. If you cut yourself, it can heal itself.
The only reason it's bad for you is because there's a statin that can target it and make a lot of money for certain companies. That's why it's bad for you.
And more people died with low cholesterol of a heart attack than they did with high. So
75%, exactly. 75% of people who were admitted with a heart attack to a hospital had normal levels of LDL. So, you know, doctors would tell them, you're good. You shouldn't have a heart attack because your cholesterol is great. But they end up, you know.
Well,
75%.
I'm friends with, do you know Dr. Asim Malhotra?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. I made friends with him when he came to Stockholm. We went out on the town and I showed him around. And he looked at my cholesterol numbers and said, outstanding. Where a normal doctor would probably say, here's a statin. But my HDL was like, I think it was like 100. My triglycerides was, no, my HDL was 120. My triglycerides were like 60 or something like that. It was 2 to 1.
Yeah. And
I forget the other numbers. When he said it was outstanding, that was good enough for me.
That's because that's a much better marker for your risk of heart disease, that triglyceride to HDL ratio, than actual cholesterol or LDL. That 100%.
Yeah, I did study it a lot back then, but I forget.
No, the lower your triglyceride and the higher your HDL, those two, the more you can make a gap between them. That is the strongest risk factor.
You want at least 1 to 1. Mine was 2 to 1. So
wow. Yeah, there you go. Same thing happened to me. I've always had high triglycerides, even when I was eating all the carbs and thinking, because I was going to school becoming a dietitian.
Well, that's what makes high triglycerides.
Exactly. I had no idea. I thought I was trying to eat what my, professors were telling me to eat. And the moment I went keto, like very, very soon after, it was like less than a few months, and it was like 45.
How did you go keto, being at nutrition school?
Well, as I was saying earlier, that when I came to Miami and I started teaching, and it was a lot of anxiety, and I would Google things like diet for anxiety, because it was like I was so inexperienced. It was horrifying. I was all by myself when I came to Miami. Like, I flew in on a one-way ticket. I didn't have anybody, not a friend, not a relative, like no one. My mom gave me $2,000. She was like, that's all I can give you, and then you're going to get paid.
What age were you then?
25.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it was a lot of, it was a lot. So I would have like the anxiety from that, and that's how I came across keto. I came across David Perlmutter's website talking about the best
Yeah.
diet for brain health and mental clarity. And I wasn't even thinking of like weight loss at that point. I was just thinking of like the anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I felt it on the seventh day. It's like the brain fog lifted. I was like, wow, I didn't even know I had.
Because obviously quitting carbs for the first few days can give you more anxiety because it's like coming off a drug.
True. It's so true.
So
Yeah.
you have to be weaned off it, maybe.
I agree. I think for a lot of people, they'll do better by weaning themselves off and cutting down, at least in the first 3 to 4 days. Shouldn't take more than that. Just take 3 to 4 days, cut your dose of carbs in half, and then just go into.
Do you know the keto carnivore coach, Stephanie, the business person? Do you know her?
No.
Oh, she's fantastic. I've followed her since the beginning.
Okay, you gotta send me all those contacts that you have.
Yeah, she was like the first pro female skater back in the 80s with Tony Hawk and
nice.
Stuff.
Okay.
She's 54, 55. She looks 25.
I believe it.
She's done keto for 20 years because of her mom's brain cancer. That they gave her mom like weeks to live 20 years ago. She's still alive. She's like 85, lives in, I don't know, Oklahoma or
Thomas
or
Seyfried
somewhere.
would be so proud to hear of her case. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I love Thomas Seyfried. Yeah, I love her.
I figured you
I've read all of his
all
stuff.
about it.
Yeah, of course, he's the one. You got to get rid of the glutamate, he said.
Yeah, exactly. I love the way he's so passionate. I love the way he talks about it. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, Stephanie, you should speak to Stephanie. She's amazing. And she eats butter for fun.
Love it. Yeah. Wow. I'm so happy about her mom actually, it working for her.
Yeah. She's a glioblastoma. It was something like this.
Glioblastoma. Yes. That's
glioblastoma. Yeah.
That's a 2-year max life sentence. Like in almost every case, that's like always the same. This is why they use it as a model.
20 years ago, something like that. 15 years now.
Wow, I don't think I've ever heard of anybody other than Pedro. I think Pedro is another person with glioblastoma that has lasted 6-7 years. That's the only person that Thomas Seyfried is aware of that has lasted this long. I didn't know about her mom. I would definitely want to check out that.
Check her out. Yeah, Stephanie Person.
Thank you.
She has a YouTube channel.
So her actual last name is Person.
Yeah, that's why she's the business person. The business person. So it's Stephanie.
Oh, the business person. Okay, but not her last name. It's actual Person.
No, it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's Person. That's why she just put the business in as the middle name, I guess. Stephanie Person.
Okay, I thought like you didn't know what her last name was. It was like that Stephanie Person.
The keto person. Yeah.
The keto person. Love it.
That's what I call her anyway. So.
You are so knowledgeable about so many things. You need to have your own YouTube channel. We're going to start a campaign to have you start a YouTube channel.
Well, I was saying to the missus when she called me from America, I said, how about this? A professor wants to talk to me about nutrition. Who would have thought it? What do I know? But then she's like, no, you know so much. You've been doing it for this many years. You've won this. You've done that. You look like this.
You would
I just forget.
Up.
I'm just me,
I'm telling you, if you start a goal of just putting out 2 YouTube videos a week, which is so easy for you to do, just everything you just told me, just do them into videos, you would blow up. And then you can start doing training online or coaching packages or like instead of, in like person-to-person training, which it's just great, but you can't reach millions of people. You can't create a global brand that way. You need the internet for that.
Yeah, I know. That needs to be next year. It needs to be my thing. This is my year for turning 50.
There you go.
That's when I'm going to make it happen.
Yes, you can do
maybe,
it.
With the context, maybe you can help me.
100%. Anything you need, I'll tell you like what you need to do. But basically, I would say just you seem to know all these things. Just put them into little YouTube videos and collaborate. Like find other people I think in the carnivore community.
I know most of the keto people,
There
as
you
I say.
go. I've seen
Um,
people blow up overnight in this space, so I think it's definitely doable.
I always think the older I get, and if I keep the six pack, there's less competition.
That's funny. That's what my husband tells me. I'm like, when are you going to compete
Yeah,
again? I'm like, oh no, wait, when I'm hit 60. I was like, why? Let's just do it now.
e- exactly.
That's
Yeah,
so
he's like,
funny.
what is he?
Yeah.
56 is he or something?
He's gonna be 59 in
Oh,
in a couple of weeks.
wow, wow. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's wow. Yeah,
But
amazing.
just the same thing. Like he nobody can guess his age unless you actually tell them, because
Yeah,
he
I get told I'm in my 30s still.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, because
late
just when
30s.
you're in
So
shape and you maintain that, that's like the number one thing. And carbs, just cut out the carbs, everybody.
that's my sales technique in the gym. You see, so when I show them some demos and say, well, yeah, when you can train when you look, because guys go, yeah, but I'm getting old now and I can't do this. I say, how old are you? They're 42, and I'm like,
Come on.
I'm 50,
Yeah.
and oh wow, where do I sign? So
There you go.
the
There you go.
exact.
So
So I need to take it online. Yeah,
yes, you have no idea. The sky is the limit. I mean, you've got teenagers becoming multimillionaires overnight just because
I
of
know.
TikTok. You just need exposure. That's all you need because you have all the elements that are needed for success in the fitness field. All you need is eyeballs. That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can't you
Thank you.
can't get them unless you have a platform. Because now it's like, okay, the interview is gonna go out. We're gonna people gonna they need to follow you. They need to connect with you. That's how you build an
Yeah.
audience. You know what I
So
mean?
you need a YouTube is better than Instagram.
They're both
YouTube's the one.
good and they're both good. In my personal experience, YouTube has grown my Instagram without me even trying to do anything with Instagram, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not like I completely ignore Instagram, but I don't have a strategy. I'll just like a lot of times I'll just repost things or I'll just a selfie or something like that. And I'll post stories of my food, my workouts, things like that. Nothing fancy, and it's grown and grown and grown because of my YouTube. The thing with YouTube is that people can connect with you because
Yeah.
it's a longer time they're interacting with you.
Well, maybe I come and do you know Danny Vega as well? Do you
Yes,
know Danny?
of course.
He's from Florida.
Yes,
He's a friend of Robert, and we said we would meet in Robert's farm. Rob's invited me to go and
Texas.
do some hunting and eat some steak and bricks.
Well,
So
see, you have the connections.
yeah,
Take
yeah, yeah.
advantage. I want to make you a millionaire. Okay, abs plus millions.
Thank you.
Let's do it.
No problem.
Awesome.
Well,
Because I know you
it's
can
been
do it.
really
See, if I
pleasant.
didn't already know that you had it, I wouldn't even have brought it up.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you. It's
yeah, yeah.
it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Me too. Let me ask you one final thing. Do you take any supplements and how your workouts, how many hours per week? And do you do
Good
cardio?
question.
Yeah.
Good question, and this is very important. Supplements, whey protein, maybe a scoop a day. I like to mix it in the yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
Creatine, when I remember, I've never ever swore by creatine. I think the amount of meat I eat, it makes zero difference.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in the cupboard, I will have it because it's super cheap.
Yeah.
Glutamine, I like taking that. I think it's good for the stomach. I take vitamin D a lot. Living in Scandinavia, there's not as much sunshine, so I take super a lot as well. I take like 25,000. I use.
Right.
So I take the vitamins, but supplements, pre-workout. I
Mm-hmm.
like caffeine. It
Yeah.
doesn't affect me that much. I'm a super coffee drinker
Let
because I
me tell
quit
you
alcohol.
something. You said that you sometimes struggle with migraines. I haven't had any headaches. Maybe like an inkling of maybe I'm gonna get a headache, but not really getting it. Maybe once in the past year, and I've cut out caffeine for a whole year. It's been over a year now.
Wow. Well,
So just
maybe, but
something to think
it's
about.
only when I have the carbs. If I don't have the carbs,
Oh,
it's
okay.
never there.
Okay,
So I
then
think
if
it's
you're
the
not having it,
electrolyte imbalance.
good.
Exactly.
Okay.
But training, interestingly, I train Dorian Yates style. Mike Mensa. I don't know if you've ever heard of Mike Mensa.
No, not Mike.
He was the inspiration of Dorian Yates. He was famously cheated out of Mr. Olympia in 1980.
Oh.
again, if you're into bodybuilding, your hubby would know exactly who he is.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He was favorite to win. Arnold strolled in, shouldn't have been allowed to enter, but they allowed him because it was Arnold. He wasn't in the best shape, and he won. After that, Mike quit bodybuilding. But Mike had the one set to failure. He trained 3 times a week, 40 minutes a session.
Wow.
3 or 4 times a week. Yeah. Where everybody else was doing 2 or 3 hours a day, 6 times a week, which they still do.
Yeah.
I train, if I do a body part, it takes me no more than 30 minutes. So I train for 40 minutes, 3 times a week on weights. The rest is just steps throughout the day. I do about 15 to 18, 20,000 steps with the kids, walking to school, walking to work, cycling. I don't do cardio.
Oh, the Oura ring tracks your steps?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And you don't do structured cardio?
No, not really.
Does the bicycle get measured with the Oura ring?
Yeah, that would cover it in the total amount of steps, because it just it tracks movement.
Nice.
So it's around 15 to 20,000 every single day. I've changed gyms now, so I used to cycle 10K every day. Now it's only 1K each way, but I might do it 3 times.
Yeah.
But only heavy weights, but it's super heavy. As I said, it's that balls to the wall set for say bench press, and then you move on. And I don't do more than say 3 exercises on chest. Then I'll do 4 exercises for back, but only 1 set. A couple of warm-ups, but only 1 set. So it's not long. I don't waste time. And I'm adding muscle. I added 3 kilos last year.
Nice. And you're an advanced lifter. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. And I still stay under 10% body fat all year.
How do you measure your body fat composition?
As a guess, through the mirror.
Yeah, that's actually more accurate than all the other, I know, believe it or not, but you got to have an eye for it. Yeah.
Exactly. I can still get in my diesel jeans size 28 waist. So I know that the waist is still tiny. So that's how I track. And I think that's the best way to track for body fat is jeans and the mirror.
Love it.
Because all these tracking devices are a waste of money, waste of time. You can see what you are.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Do you listen to Greg Doucette?
Yes.
Laser eyes. What does he say?
He is very good at that. To be fair, I like Greg. He's entertaining, but he's one that Bart has really got the bright with.
I know.
Because he's a calorie in, calorie out guy.
They're at one another's throats in the last few videos.
Greg knows what he's talking about with bodybuilding. He's a world record holder. Yeah. He's good.
He is.
But they're just on 2 different wavelengths of
the diet. Thing is, one is thinking about the optimal human diet and health, and the other is talking strictly body composition. I haven't watched all the videos because I know it's like back and forth, but but I just read. I watched like a few minutes, and I see like I just see parts of it, and I'm just cracking up all the way through.
But I know for everyone that I've tried, it's not about. There was a lady that came to me. She was eating 1,000 calories a day, couldn't lose weight. The first thing I did was put her on 2,000. She lost weight.
Really?
Yeah, straight away. She lost like 2 pounds the next day, and she calmed down.
Could it have been the cortisol drop, do you think?
Must have been. And it's just energy as well. Her metabolism sort of kicked into gear. Yeah. She must have felt so dead at 1,000.
Did you put her on keto?
She was doing, she was off a cyclical ketogenic website. She's following Lyle McDonald. I don't know if you're familiar with Lyle.
I've heard, yeah.
Yeah, he wrote a good few books on keto as well.
Okay. I wouldn't say I'm that well versed. Like the name is familiar, but ask me anything more, I can't tell you anything more.
Yeah. He's a character as well. He's been around.
I'll check that out. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. I think this was so much fun. It was really educational as well. I didn't realize how much knowledge you had about this. So again, we're waiting for your YouTube channel, everybody. Let us know in the comments below.
Coming soon.
Yes, it's loading. And maybe if you started, maybe people can go and subscribe. Here's what I'll do. Create your channel, okay? It takes you literally like 10 minutes, not even, maybe 5, okay?
Yeah.
Just create it and then send me the link and I'll post it in the description box below. So people, once they know about you, I'll list it and then they can subscribe until you're ready to post your few videos. So you already have subscribers before you even started.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
You like that?
Do that.
Good.
Yeah, amazing.
Awesome. Cool. I will
Thank
also, you're very welcome. I'll also list your Instagram. Is there any other way that you would like for people to connect with you or places that people can find you?
Just the Instagram for now is good. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Thank you so much, Alan. Let me know if there's anything I forgot or anything you would like to say or any last minute message that you would like to share.
Yeah, I think we covered pretty much everything, to be fair. I better check the kids that they've not wrecked the ice cream jar.
I think that's gone. Awesome. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us till the end. I hope you enjoyed this kind of content. If you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell icon so YouTube alerts you every time I post a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.